Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys a whole lot for subscribing to my YouTube channel, for the support you guys have given to me here on YouTube. I appreciate it a whole lot. If you are new to my channel, this is the first time of you coming across Stylish Naija YouTube channel, I would appreciate if you will hit on the subscribe button and also hit on the bell on the side to get an update whenever I upload a new video. That's just like basically the essence of hitting on that bell. Okay, before I continue, today I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew an illusion and blouse. So it has an illusion neckline. It's really simple and easy. That's what I'm going to be showing you. So we're going to be making use of this fabric. So before I continue, I just want to talk about my online training for this month. So I'm actually introducing a new class. I have other class. I have the corset class. I have the beginners class. I also have an intermediate class, and now in this month I'm introducing a new class, which is the ready to wear class. This is one of the pieces that we're going to be making in this new class. So we're going to be making 4 dresses for this class. So if you are interested, if you actually want to learn how to sew, you know, and what we mean by ready to wear, you see the way this dress is like this. You just sew like this and then you package them and then you sell. So you really do not need to wait for people to bring fabric for you, like in bespoke, where they bring, you measure them and then you sew. But in ready to wear, you just make and then you sell. So that's what I'm going to be teaching you, how to do this kind of dresses and then how to package and sell in this new class. So if you're interested, so you could see my number scrolling through the screen. Just screenshot it and then send me a message on WhatsApp, and then I'll tell you what it entails to register for this class. So let's just get started. Okay, so for this blouse, I'm going to be making use of my bustier pattern. So you could use any bustier pattern of your choice. So in case you don't know how to draft out a bustier pattern, I'm going to be dropping 2 different bustier patterns on the description box. So you could just watch that video to learn how to draft these patterns. So I'm just going to place out my fabric now, and then I'll cut out with my pattern. So I have some couple of tools here. I actually do not know which one I'm going to use yet, but I'm just going to keep them on the side. Let's just cut it out first. Okay guys, so welcome back. So you see I finished cutting all of my pieces. So this is my the back piece. I'm going to go and join them together, and then this is the front piece. So I'll join the front piece also together. So you pad it and then you join it together. So if you want to pad it, if you want it to the bust to be really full, so you're going to pad it. I have a video on how to pad an Ankara. I'm still going to drop that description down on the description box for you to see how to do that. Maybe someday I'm going to do a modern version of that tutorial. I just thought about it now. So I'm going to go and join them together before we cut out the illusion and neckline out. So if you want to do a flat, you could actually do a flat. That's if you don't want it to be a bustier, you could actually do that also. Okay, so welcome back guys. So you see I finished stitching my blouse. So I've stitched it, the bustier part, although I did not pad it with interfacing and all of the wording whatsoever. I did not do that. So I just did it like this for this sake. So this is the back piece. So I'm going to just keep the back. So let's work on the front piece of our blouse. So here is what you are going to do in drafting and in cutting out that kind of neckline. So after stitching like this, the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to mark out our neck width first. So I'm trying to get the chalk that will be visible. I think I should do the white one. So the first thing we're going to do now, I'm going to mark out 3.5 inches. That's the width of the neckline. You could do it at 4 inches since it is a high neckline. So I'm going to do 4 inches. This is 4 inches. I'm just going to put a notch. I'm not cutting it out. So I'm putting a notch because it's what I cut out from here. That's what I'm going to use to create out our tool. That's what I'll place on the tool to cut out. So I don't want to cut it out. So I have a notch already here. I'm going to open it up now. So this is our notch part here and here. So the next thing we're going to do now, we are going to just trim out The next thing you're going to do now, you're going to mark out how long, that's the illusion neckline, how long you actually want it to be. So for the length of mine, so you are going to try and open your blouse, let it be flat, because you are going to be working with this center piece. And I'm going to come like this, from this point like this. I'm going to mark as much as 12 or 13 inches. I'm going to mark as long as 13 inches. So this is where I'm going to be stopping. So the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to create out a canoe neckline here. So from this 4 inches point, you could do 4.5, depends on how wide. In order for me to be safe, so I'm just going to do, that's why I'm using 4 inches. I don't want to run into any problems. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'll close it back again, and then I'll mark out the depth of the top part of the neckline. So for that, the depth, I'm going to use at least 2 inches or 1.5 inches. So I'm going to mark it out this way, and then I'll open it and create it out properly. Let it come to this point like this. So that is why I say if you want it wider, you can actually do that. So you could see the neckline and the round part of the neckline. The next thing we're going to do now, we're going to create that illusion neckline on the center. This is the center part of our blouse. So you are going to just bring out your creative abilities, your creativity. I don't know how to say it. Just be creative, your artistic skills rather. So from this point, I'm going to create like a curve to the center part. I'm going to create like a curve. You are going to determine how wide you actually want that center piece to be. That's the part you are going to cut out. So in doing that, you are going to take this part like this, and then you are going to measure. So this is like 1 inch. So when you open, you know it's on foot. So when you open, it's going to be like 2 inches. So I'm just using this. I'm really not using this as because if you notice, both of them are not the same. The curves, they are actually not the same. So this is 1 inch. This is my center line. So from this point, I'll measure out another. I'm just trying to get this 2 inches width. So this is the 2 inches width. So whatever I do, I know that this is the depth of what this is the width of what I'm taking out. So I'm going to walk down with my pattern curve. I'm just going to take my pattern curve like this, and then I'll place it on the edge of this neckline. You see what I'm doing? I'm placing it, and then I'm bringing it to this point like this, and then I'm creating out a curve. So you can create your curve however you want to create it out. So it totally depends on how you want to do it. So from this point like this, I'm just going to maintain this part like this to create a curve like this. As I'm creating it, I'm bringing it to this 2 inches point like this. So I've created one curve on this side like this. So I'm going to curve it properly. Let it curve out nicely like what we have on the picture. So this is the next one, the next curve that I'm going to create. So the next curve also, I'm going to create it, let it go from this point also. So I'm just like doing like a free hand, almost like a free hand of this. So when I get to this point, I'm just going to create a curve, a round curve here at the down, just to get that shape. So like I said, you could do any shape of your choice. So I've exceeded the 12 inches that I did initially, but it is still okay. So you see what I actually have here. So I'm going to cut it out now. Is what I cut out from here, that's what I'm going to place on my tool and then replace it to bring it, so I'll get it exactly. Or else if you don't do it that way, you're going to miss it. I'm going to cut out now. I'm cutting out. I'm just going to create. So you see now, you see what I cut out now. The shape is looking like what we have on that picture. So because it is a bustier, so you see how it is. It's looking nice. So this is what I'm going to place now on my tool, and then I'm going to cut out a tool using this. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay guys, so the next thing I'm going to do now, before cutting out with my tool, I'm going to cut I'm going to try and achieve this same shape on my lining. So you see I have my lining already laid out. You cut it the same way and then you stitch just the same way we stitch the front piece. So you are going to place them. This is the right side facing the right side. You're going to place them like this, and then you are going to try and trim. You're just going to trim it the same, and the neckline here, the illusion neckline, just trim it out on your lining also. So I've trimmed it out now, so I'm going to cut it out, but there's something I'm going to do in cutting it out. I'm going to cut it out. The lining part is going to be a little bit smaller than the actual neckline, so I'm going to cut it like 1/4 of an inch inwards, a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I've cut it out now. So here's what I'm going to do. Instead of me and cut, this is just like from a leftover tool, so you guys should just please bear with me. Okay guys, so the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut out the tool. So normally I would just use this to cut it out, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm keeping it yet, I'm not using it yet. So what I'm going to do, I'm just trying to trace out the edge of my tool. So I'm going to be using the shape of what I have here placed here. So with this, it's going to be easier instead of using this. You note the top part, I'm not cutting out the top part yet. So after stitching, I will trim out the neckline. So with this, it's going to be easy for me to pull off. So I'm just trimming along the line. So I've trimmed out now. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to stitch. So in stitching, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take this like this. This is the right side of my dress, and then this is my tool. So I'm going to take the tool like this from this top part like this. I'm going to go and stitch. So I'm just going to stitch it along the neckline round. So like I said, you could decide to cut it out with this shape. You can all you do, just increase the width of, just increase the whole measurement. So that's just what I actually tried doing here. So I'm going to go and use the neckline to stitch it out, because the illusion neckline, that is what will actually give it the shape. So I'm just going to go and do that now. I'll stitch it. So you see, I just want you to see the way I'm holding it. This is the right side of my dress, and then here is my tool. So I'm going to take it like this. I'm going to be stitching, so make sure what you are doing is right. So this is the right side. So this here is what I'm going to go and do now. I'm going to stitch it right side facing right side. So I'm just going to stitch it round. So after stitching, I'm going to trim along the neckline like this. All of the rough edges, I'll trim them all off. Okay guys, so you see I finished stitching. The next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you how to cover it up with your lining. So this is the back. So after stitching, so you stitch, so this part you just put little notches on it so it relaxes. So you see the top part will have not touched the neckline. You're still going to leave it that way. And then for the lining, here's what we're going to do. For the lining part, you have to pay attention to it. So this is the lining. So this is the right side, this is the wrong side of my fabric, and then this is the wrong side of my lining. So the wrong side is facing the wrong side. The wrong side is facing the wrong side. So here's what you are going to do now. You are going to take it like this. You are going to turn it. So you could decide to pin one part down, so just to secure it so it doesn't move. And then you are going to take this part like this. See, wrong side facing wrong side. I'm trying to explain this more because this is like the basics for this illustration. It's the neckline, how to achieve it. So you are going to take this part like this. You are going to turn it like this, and then you are going to hold from this top part like this. You're going to hold this top part, and then you are going to take this part. That's the essence of stitching it down. It helps you give it firmness so it doesn't move. You are going to turn now. You are now going to turn. This is the right side of my fabric now, of my lining, and then you place it like this, and then you are going to stitch along the neckline just like we did the tool when we're stitching the tool on it. You're just going to stitch it round from the inside. So everything you are doing, you're stitching it from the inside. So after stitching, it's going to fall down back to this side. So I'm going to go and do that now and show you. So I'm going to explain it again. I'm explaining much because I want you to get it. So after stitching the tulle on it like this, after stitching the tulle on it, you are going to take your lining like this. This is my lining now. See, it is facing the wrong side, is facing the wrong side like this. So it is like it is covered up, but the issue now is we need to stitch it. So in stitching it, you are just going to hold this part like this, from this top part like this. You are going to hold from this top part like this, and then you are going to turn like this, and then you will stitch them from their wrong side. You're just going to stitch along the neckline. It's only the neckline part we are stitching. You stitch it round and then it drops. So I'm going to go and do that, and then I'll bring it back and show you. Okay guys, so you see I finished stitching it. So when I'm done, I'm just going to take it and give it a very good iron, and then it will relax it down. So I'm going to show you the back now. So you see the back, you see how neat it is looking, because it is a tulle. That is why it is coming together. So when you put it on, when the boob balances it up, it opens up. So don't just mind the coming together. So after stitching that, the next thing you are going to do now, you are going to stitch the side from the inside, since we are not doing the perfect inseam finishing. So all you are going to do, you're just going to stitch the side, and then you are done for that. So the next thing, I'm going to show you now how to join it with the back, in case you don't know how to do that. So this is like the back piece now. You are going to take the back. That was why I did not cut out the neckline initially. So with this now, it's going to be perfect and easy for me to get both the back and the front neckline together. I'm just going to do this now, and then I'm going to place the back and the front together. I could decide to bring back this guy and then use it to cut out the neckline if I want to, but if I don't want to, I'm just going to let go, and then I'm going to cut out a fresh neckline, still cutting out that canoe neckline. So I'm just going to place it like this, and then I'll measure my 4 inches, because I want the back neckline and the front neckline, I want them equal. And then I'll measure my 4 inches width, and then measure the depth that I will use. But the front piece, you know, the depth we actually used was actually 1.5 inches. So I'm going to use 1.5 inches depth, 4 inches width, and then the back is going to be 4 inches width. So I'm going to cut them out right now. So I've cut out the back and the front, and then I'll do my shoulder slope like this. So the next thing now, if you want the back neckline to be deeper, you can decide to increase the width of the back neckline. Make sure when you're increasing, you are increasing from this point. So you make sure for the back neckline, you can decide to make it, maybe let's just say 4 inches, and then you just increase like this. Okay guys, so you see at the end of the day, this is how it's going to look like. If you want to, you could decide to add any sleeve of your choice on this dress. So for that sleeve that is on that picture, I actually have the video of how to achieve that sleeve on my channel. So I'm going to place the link on the description box for you to watch it. So the essence of this illustration, like I said, is this middle part, and then the turning with the lining. That's what we actually learned in this class. So thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video.